Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
For decades, live free or die has been the motto in New Hampshire. But for a group of disgruntled residents seeking independence, the slogan is more than just a philosophy. The Nexit movement, which launched earlier this month, is pushing for New Hampshire to secede from the U.S. Members say they are fed up with the bloated central government and resent paying more in tax dollars than they get back. There are 2.5 million unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., and they are responsible for dragging the nation to the brink of bankruptcy, movement leader Carla Garrick explained. Not only that, but they are siphoning money out of taxpayers' wallets every year, trampling on the rights of New Hampshire citizens, she added. The Nexit website states the movement is dedicated to securing a sovereign and independent New Hampshire, championing the principles of self-determination, liberty and the preservation of our state's unique heritage and values. But economic factors are a large driving force behind the movement. New Hampshire residents pay around $3.53 in federal taxes for every dollar of support they receive back. The data from SmartAsset shows the state is the 26th most dependent on the central government. Economically, it's not a good deal for the residents of New Hampshire. We could probably be richer and more prosperous if we just got rid of them, Garrick added. New Hampshire is one of the most prosperous in the U.S., with a median income of $43,353, well above the national average of $37,585. As the first state to establish independence from the British colonies, New Hampshire has a long history with libertarianism. The state's motto, "Live free or die," was officially adopted in 1945. The words come from those spoken by Revolutionary War hero General John Stark. Garrick was herself previously involved with the Free State Project, a mass migration of more than 20,000 individuals who have moved or pledged to move to New Hampshire with the aim of concentrating their numbers in a single state to preserve liberty. But for Garrick, the moment has come to push for New Hampshire to break away completely. I think the time is right. As I said, a lot of this is sort of bubbling up as a national discussion, Garrick said. We have seen, national divorce start to trend. So for me, the time is ripe in the sense. With the election season, people want to be talking about the problems, but I want to start to talk about the solutions, and I do believe states' rights and more decentralization and possibly independent countries is the way to go. The Nexit movement joins a long line of secession movements in the U.S. amid growing divisions across the country. Texas, Vermont, Alaska, and South Carolina, among others, all have or have had active independence movements. In liberal Oregon, disgruntled locals have begun a petition to secede and join conservative Idaho. While last week, a Free Louisiana movement also sprang up amid a belief that most politicians have an East-West Coast mentality which is not serving the southern state. In New Hampshire, a growing number of conservatives have already pushed for the state to leave the Union. Earlier this year, Representative Jason Gerhardt proposed that New Hampshire should break away if the national debt exceeded $40 trillion. It currently stands at around $34 trillion, and the legislation was ultimately voted down. A separate bill was introduced by Republican Representative Matthew Santonastaso, calling for the commission of a study into the viability and impact of Nexit. However, opposition voices warned about further division if secession proceeds. From a political perspective, I am just very concerned that we muddy the waters with insurrectionist talk, Rep. Jess Edwards said. The one thing that is very important to me personally is to emphasize we are a peaceful movement, Garrick said. The bills we introduced all very categorically state that this is a peaceable separation from the Union if it were to happen. We need to be able to talk about difficult ideas, and it shouldn't resort to violence. Garrick said that many of her supporters are not really comfortable with this empire that the U.S. is building. They're now recruiting the National Guard to go overseas, and congressional wars aren't being declared anymore. So even something like that, being able to keep our natio